What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a Christmas banger. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Hope you guys are all having a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, I don't know, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Hope you're having a good December. Also, in honor of it being Christmas, for the next 2 days until the 27th, I have put a 20% discount code to all orders on my site. You just have to enter the code CHRISTMAS at goblin420.com. This goes for any order size, whether it's $1 or $1 million. The 20% off is a flat rate with no minimum. So hop on the merch site. Hey, I'm here to take your Christmas money, baby. Hey, without further ado, let's dive right into the Christmas banger. And once again, happy holidays, everyone. So, this story actually just happened a few days ago. I know that I'm not a big opiate guy, and it might sound a little strange for me to say that I did PERCS very recently. However, sometimes when an opportunity arises to, do a couple drugs or do something fun with some friends I haven't seen in a while, I'll jump on it. And this was one of those instances. So, a few days ago, because I was going to be busy on Christmas Day this year, which I am, but a few days prior to Christmas, I opted to bring my girlfriend up to, spend a couple days with my mom, and we did some Christmas stuff kind of early, like a few days before Christmas. While I was in town at my mom's house, where all my old friends still are, I tried to link up with as many of my friends as I could. I still had a lot of friends that my girlfriend, Ashley, had never met before. So I was like, yo, you gotta fucking meet these guys. The two particular people that she'd never met before that I was really excited for her to meet were Bob and Bill. Two classic characters. I have not hung out with Bob in years. I haven't seen this guy in a long time. Bill I've seen a bit more recently than Bob, but Bobby, it's been ages. For those of you guys who are OG viewers on this channel, you might remember that I actually had a few videos with Bobby. Some dual commentary stories where him and I got stoned and drunk and sat down at my desk and told some stories. We did my first time doing Xanax story together. We did a car accident story together because he was in shotgun when I crashed. We have quite a few videos together, and me and this guy go way back, right? So I was looking forward to seeing him, but also I was looking forward to introducing Ashley to them because I knew that she would find them hilarious. They are just characters, right? So I hit up Bob and Bill on this particular day, and I asked what they were both doing. And initially, I didn't plan to link up with them both at the same time. Bob had mentioned that he wanted to go to a bar, and Bill had mentioned that he was at work until like 7 o'clock. So I was like, yo, that's perfect. We'll hit the bar with Bob, we'll grab some drinks, maybe a snack or something, and then we'll go link up with Bill once he's off and maybe smoke some weed. That was our initial plan for the day. However, our plans changed very quickly because Bob is well known for taking his jolly time to link up. If he says he'll be ready at 5 p.m., what he really means is 5 p.m. plus an hour and a half. So, by the time he was actually ready, Bill was about to get off anyways, and Bill was just going to go pick up Bob. So it all kind of unfolded perfectly. Now both the people that we wanted to hang out with were linking up with each other, and then coming to link up with us. It was looking great. Now, initially, I had just planned to smoke a little bit of weed this night, maybe have a few drinks. But Bill mentioned to me while he was on his way to pick up Bob as we were on FaceTime that he had some perks, and he asked if I wanted any. He said he had some perk 10s and he'd throw me a couple, and I was like, well, fuck it. I mean, I haven't done any in a while. It's not like I'm buying a shitload of them. I'll pop one or two, we'll see where it takes me. It had been a little while. And yeah, do I like opiates? Absolutely not. However, every now and then I like to spice it up. Smoking weed all day gets a little boring. Sometimes my inner tweaker still comes out every now and then, and I'll be like, oh yeah, dude, crack sounds pretty good. So, obviously, when Bill mentioned he had a couple perk 10s, I lit up a little bit. I was like, oh, hell yeah, dude, this night's getting more interesting. Now, it had been a while since I'd seen Bill, so I figured maybe times had changed. However, when I used to hang out with him quite a lot, Bill was known for not having the highest quality drugs. Whether it was weed, which I've covered in many of my videos, in particular the Pine Sol Pack video, he's just never been a guy to spend top dollar on drugs. It's not like he doesn't have money. He's just so cheap with his money, it's unbelievable. Instead of sometimes it's almost stupid how cheap he is. For example, when we used to do coke together, I would be the one to buy like an 8-ball at a time. And then he would buy like .1s from me for like $10 at a time. And every time he would do this, I would mention to him, I'd be like, Bill, why do you not just go in on a ball with me and split it? You are spending like double the fucking money. And he's like, yeah, but like, what if I don't want it anymore? And I'm like, dude, you do coke every day. You're gonna want it, you know? Sometimes he was too cheap for his own good. But I had hoped that maybe things had changed over the years, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, you know what, Bill? I will do one of your perks. Now, typically, when I would do opiates, which was very rare, I would either get them way back in the day from Ashton, or occasionally Cody's mom would actually have some shit that he would get and then give it to me, right? Because she would have extras that she didn't really want. So those were real and those were fire. However, I haven't done an extreme amount of perks where I'm like an expert and I look at a pill and I'm just like, oh, dude, I know this is fake, you know? With Xans, it's a lot easier for me to do, but with opiates and Percocets or Oxys or things like that, I don't do as many of those and I never have. So it's not as easy for me. However, these were so blatantly bullshit that I didn't really need any expertise, but we'll get to that. So, me and Ashley were kind of cruising over to the restaurant we decided on meeting up at, because initially we were going to go to a bar. However, at this point, it was much later in the day, and, you know, we were now kind of hungry, so we opted to meet up at a hibachi restaurant, right? One of our favorite spots. Bob and I used to go here all the time. Bob still goes here all the time. He actually told me at dinner that this was the 3rd time he'd been there that week, and it was like a fucking Tuesday. But, either way, we get to the hibachi restaurant, and we're waiting for Bill and Bob to pull up. Ashley and I, we go inside, and we get us a table, and we're sitting there, and of course, Bill and Bob are fashionably late, right? As usual, Bob is never on time for anything, and whenever he's with other people, he makes sure that they're not on time either. So we're sitting at the table, and these guys are drinking beers in the parking lot like we're still in high school. I'm like, bro, we're 21. You could just come in and drink beer here. Like, why do you have to do it in the parking lot? Like, dude, we're at the table. This is kind of fucked. Like, get in here, you know? So, eventually, after drinking some beers in the parking lot, they come inside and they're already drunk. Bob in particular is shit-faced. This guy, I'm talking the moment the waiter comes up, he asks for a free shot. He's like, yo, ask the bartender if I can get a free shot. Any kind. Surprise me. Believe it or not, he actually fucking got a free shot. I don't know how he does this. He does this all the time at restaurants we go to. He just has a way with words. He's good with people. He knows how to get shit for free. So, of course, immediately as we're sitting at the table, he has brought a free Cinnamon Toast Crunch shot, which is a very weird concept, and he passed it to me to try, and honestly, it kind of tasted like shit. Nothing like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but that's not the point. I don't even know what was in it. I think it was really gnarly, bro. It was like rum chata and like ground up cinnamon toast crunch, dude. It was really fucked. But either way, it was free, so can't really complain. So we're chilling at dinner and we're chatting a little bit and having a good time, you know, getting some drinks in us. I only drank maybe 2 or 3 drinks this night, right? I ordered 3, but I don't think I finished my 3rd. So I only got like 2 drinks in me because honestly, the drinks they were making were just not that great. Bob, on the other hand, was getting absolutely slapped. And after he got a few drinks in him, he started telling the story of how Bill lost his virginity. Now, for those of you guys who have been around the channel for a while, you might know that Bill was a virgin up until very recently. Nothing wrong with that. We've been trying to help him out with that for years. And I was very proud when I learned that he finally did it. I was like, yo, good shit, my guy, like fire. However, I initially was told a story that was very inaccurate, and I am here to correct that in today's video. The story I was initially told, this was not from Bob or Bill, so I guess it makes sense why it was quite diluted. But the story I was initially told is Bill had just found a girl who was down. He was like, oh, like, apparently, I guess from what I was told initially, he had just, like, hit it off with some girl and slept with her. And I was like, okay, cool, like, that's fire. I come to dinner, and I realize very quickly as Bob starts telling the story that that's not at all what happened. They finally got him a prostitute. So at first I think Bob is joking because I had heard the initial story like right after Bill lost his virginity. And I was like, okay, like Bob's got to be drunk. Like, he's just got to be joking. Or maybe, like, this happened recently, but it wasn't really when he lost his virginity. Maybe Bob forgot the first time he fucked, and this is the second time. But Bill started getting noticeably pissed off, right? Bill was not happy that Bob was telling this story at the table. Now, Bill wasn't happy because he was ashamed of it or anything. He wasn't happy because, these are his words, not mine, there was too many kids around and Santa Claus just walked in. He wasn't joking either because for some fucking reason, some dude in a full Santa Claus suit walked into the hibachi restaurant mid-dinner and just started handing shit out to the kids in the restaurant. I don't know if they hired this guy. I don't know if it's just some fucking dude who pulled up. And I really don't know why he chose a hibachi restaurant of all the venues. But it just made for a much more eventful night. Bill's like, dude, you, like, shut up, bro. Santa's here, dude. Like, you can't tell this fucking story. Bob doesn't give a shit. He looks over and notices Santa, and we're all laughing our ass off. We're like, bro, why the fuck is Santa Claus here? This is getting fire. This is getting wild. So Bob continues telling the story. And apparently how it played out was they took him to the classic Red Roof Inn. And there was actually 2 prostitutes. Apparently there was one that Bob had some fun with, and there was one that Bill had some fun with. Now, from what I was told at the dinner, these women were absolutely nasty. I'm talking like gnarly, like they had a stench like gnarly. The way they described them horrified me and fucked up my appetite a little bit. But Ashley and I are listening intently because we're like, bro, this is fast. Like, this is totally different from what I was initially told. I never fucking heard this story. And at first, like I said earlier, I really thought Bob was bullshitting. But Bill confirmed it all. I asked Bill, I was like, wait. So is this really how it fucking like, is Bob joking or like exaggerating? And Bill's like, no, this is how it happened. But then Bill's talking to Bob and he's like, I wish you just shut the fuck up sometime, Bob. Like, you're such an idiot. And he's pissed, dude. I guess he's pissed because Bob, when he's drunk, talks very loud. Like, very loud. I'm talking like I probably could have heard this guy from the kitchen if I listened intently enough. So it's safe to assume that pretty much every table in a 20-foot radius learned about the fact that Bill slept with a disgusting prostitute to lose his virginity, which I guess it's pretty fair reason to be mad, to be fair. If I were him, I'd probably be mad too. But either way, it was hilarious. It was fascinating to me because this was not at all the story I'd expected to hear. We had been trying to get a hooker for Bill for years, dude. We had been trying so hard, and for the longest time, he wouldn't fold. So I'm very glad that now he finally folded. He finally went for it. And Bob even had an interview, a before and after. He had a post-game interview with Bill after he lost his V card. He had a video of it on his phone. Absolutely hilarious. But we're getting through the dinner, and damn near the entire dinner is just Bob telling the story of Bill losing his virginity. So finally, we wrap up our dinner, and we get on out of there, and we all opt to hop back in my car. We're chilling a little bit. You know, I'm feeling pretty all right. I've got like 2 drinks in me, so I'm feeling pretty decent. But I'm not really drunk or even buzzed because A, I'm a big dude, and B, I'm also an alcoholic. Well, not really anymore, but my alcohol tolerance is still pretty fucked. So 2 drinks really doesn't get me anywhere. So I'm sitting there and I'm chilling, right? Ashley tells me, she's like, hey, you know, like, after you pop that perk, just let me know and I can drive. And I'm like, bet, sounds good. I've got my designated driver. God bless Ashley for not doing nearly as many drugs as me. She's so great. And always being my designated driver. So, of course, I'm like, yeah, sounds great, you know, fire. So, Bill's sitting in the back seat with Bob, and he's got 2 perks on him that he's willing to spare. He throws them to me, and I'm eyeing them a little bit, but it's kind of dark in the car because at this point it's dark out. It's like 8 or 9 o'clock by the time we got out of this restaurant, and mind you, at this time of year, it gets dark at like 4 p.m. in Illinois. So it's like pitch black out right now. So I didn't really eye the perks very well at first. We decide to roll up a little bit. I've got some wraps, so we chill out in the parking lot of this hibachi place, and we roll up a blunt, right? Now, we twist up this first blunt. We spark it up, and I will say that although Bill's quality of drugs may not have improved over the years, his rolling skills have. I'll give credit where it's due. I remember back when we were younger, this guy just could not be trusted with a blunt. But now he actually rolled a pretty nice blunt. I'd even call it a semi-pearl, right? He rolled a pretty nice blunt. And he rolled a few blunts throughout the night, and all of them were pretty good. So I gotta give credit where it's due to my boy Bill. He has stepped up the rolling game. So he twists up the first blunt, and we spark it up, and we're passing it around, the four of us just chilling out. And as we're smoking this one, we opt to roll up a second one. We're trying to get good stoned. Now, mind you, I have progressed very differently from my friends over the years. While Bill and Bob have slowed down on the smoking and their tolerance has gone down, mine has gone up exponentially. So we only smoked like 4 blunts throughout the night on 4 heads, yet they tapped out at the end. Ashley and I were ready to rumble. I really call this the goblin effect. Anyone who kicks it around me very frequently, their tolerance goes to the moon. And that really is what happened to Ashley, because when we first got together, I remember, she used to take like a couple bong rips and get blasted. She would take 1 dab and go to the moon. Now, she'll smoke down a whole gram with me, dude, in one sitting. She'll do whatever. She'll smoke whatever. I love to see it, right? But the opposite effect happened to Bob and Bill. I attribute a pinch of it, maybe 5% of it, to the fact that they don't kick it with me as much anymore, right? But Ashley, on the other hand, her tolerance is through the fucking roof. So, they got really high really fucking quickly. After these first couple blunts, we had some downtime where they didn't really want to smoke anymore, Bob and Bill. They just kind of wanted to chill out. So I was like, well, I might as well take one of these perks, like we're literally just sitting in my car. It was a nice little nostalgic day, it reminded me of the old high school days of me, Bob, and Bill sitting in a car just smoking weed, It was a fun evening. So now I finally get a chance to look at these perks, right? I bust out these perks, and I'm looking at them, and I've got my light on, my overhead light, right? I'm sitting in my driver's seat, and I notice right off the bat that these don't look right. Like, I know that I'm not an expert on opiates, but these just do not look right. The edges are chipped everywhere. They're chalky. I'm talking like I put my finger on the edges and a little bit of the powder. The white stuff is like rubbing off on my finger, right? The pill is like damn near disintegrating in my fingers. That was the first thing that concerned me. But the second thing I noticed, and maybe I was just stoned out of my mind, but I was pretty confident that the lettering on it was not centered. In particular, the numbers on the back, the 10 and the 325, right? They just looked off, and it almost looks like the text was not like imprinted deep enough. It was very shallow. It was almost like I took like the edge of a razor and just carved those numbers into the pill real quick, and then was like, okay, this is good to serve. It didn't look right to me at all. So I popped the first one like a dumbass. And mind you, you should never do this. If you're holding a pill that looks sketchy, don't pop it. I'm just a fucking moron. And I have a little too much trust in my friends. And I'm also a fucking idiot. I should not have popped this, but I did like a dumbass. If there's one thing you should pull out of this story, don't pop a pill that looks sketchy. Throw that shit away, or at least bare minimum test it, But I popped the first one, and I'm like, okay, I haven't taken a perk in a while. I'm excited, this might feel pretty good. I've done perk 10s before, and usually even just one will have me feeling pretty nice, so I figured if this was in any way real, I was going to be feeling pretty good pretty shortly. A little bit of time goes past, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, and I feel absolutely nothing. I'm so disappointed that I'm almost trying to convince myself that I feel it. I'm in my head, and I'm like, do I feel it? Do I feel better? I'm so disappointed. I'm like, fuck, man. This sucks. Ashley asked me if I want her to drive for me now, and I'm like, honestly, I don't feel shit. All the while in the backseat, Bill is gassing these up. He's like, dude, I dropped one of these in a Sprite earlier. I was feeling great. I'm like, Bill, I don't feel a damn thing. He's flabbergasted. He's like, damn, like what? Like I feel good off these. I'm like, Bill, I don't feel anything, bro. Like for real. I don't feel a damn thing. Now, not feeling a thing is not what really tipped me off to them being fake. It really was the appearance and the texture of them. They were damn near falling apart, dude. I don't give a shit how I feel or how it tastes. That was not a genuine pharmaceutical Percocet, I'll tell you that much. But I still had one more of these bad boys left. The rest of the night was pretty uneventful. We sat in the car and smoked a couple more blunts, and eventually I dropped Bob and Bill back off at their car in the parking lot of the hibachi place, and, that kind of wrapped up that night. But the next day, I still had one more of these perks left, and I still was trying to convince myself like a complete idiot that these weren't fake. I was holding out hope. The inner tweaker in me was coming out. I felt like a meth addict who just found a bag on the ground, and I'm trying desperately to convince myself that it's from Walter White and not from fucking, I don't know, dude. Where's the shittiest meth come from? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Alabama? No, they probably have fire meth, bro. They have nothing better to do. I mean, I don't know, dude. All right, you know what? That joke completely fell apart. Let's just continue. So, either way, I'm trying to convince myself that this second perk is real. That both of the perks are real. I'm like, dude, maybe if I snort it this time, I'll feel different. So I crush this bad boy up, right? I'm laying in my bed, and I crush this bad boy up the next day, and I rail it. Not all of it at once. I did like probably half of it. So I got what was supposed to be a solid 5 milligrams out of the 10 in this pill in me, right? And also a solid like 187.5 milligrams of acetaminophen in me, right? Hey, the mental maths on point, baby. Half of 325. Hey, what is it? 187.5, I think. Yeah, no, that's right, for sure. I got the mental maths, baby. But either way, I rail this second one. And for a brief moment, I did feel a little something, but it wasn't like a high. It was more of like a dopamine rush, like oh, fuck yeah. My inner coke addict was coming out. It was popping out. Any white powder going up my nose, I'm jumping for joy. I don't give a shit if it's Smarties, right? My inner coke addict loves any white powder in my nostrils. So I didn't actually get high off railing this pill, but I was feeling good. I had that little dopamine release, right? I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I feel like, hell yeah. I've missed the white powder going in my nose. But once again, once I got it all down the hatch, I still felt nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I was pretty disappointed. After that, I just gave up on it. I was like, well, lesson learned. I'm not taking any more of Billy's Yerkies. Absolutely not. Grats to the guy for fucking a gross prostitute, and grats to the guy for getting better at rolling, but I cannot congratulate him on his Percocet performance. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, gamers.